Aloha heads, Frank here to review Windlands 2, the sequel to SciTech's fantastic grappling hook adventure. Now, before we get started, as of this moment, Windlands 2 is a timed Oculus exclusive, so it may be a while before we see this one on PSVR or HTC Vive. That being said, the wait will be well worth it. Windlands 2 is a complete update from the original title. The movement is smoother, the gameplay is richer, and the environments actually feel alive. Where the original felt more like a freeform experience that has you searching for items high and low, Windlands 2 feels like a story-driven game. With added quests, voiced NPCs, a bow and arrow, and co-op, Windlands 2 truly is a sequel in every sense of the word. So Frank, what's it all about? Well, if you've never had the pleasure of playing the original Windlands, let me school you for a second. Have you ever wanted to be Spider-Man? I don't mean third person flying around, spending half your time with Mary Jane, Peter Parker looking self. I mean truly feel like Spider-Man. Well, that's Windlands. Basically Edward grappling hook hands. You use your hooks to swing from green blob to green blob as you traverse the environment. It's all based on building up momentum while timing your hook shots perfectly, and when you get it down packed, the game just feels like butter. Most of the dialogue in game is a little empty, but it does a great job at creating a sense of pacing I felt the original title kind of lacked. I love Windlands, but it was more of a hop in and just goof about sort of game. This one actually makes me feel as if I'm constantly working towards some goal or pushing forward to the next checkpoint. The addition of the bow and arrow is also a much appreciated update because with it comes enemies and bosses, and boy are these bosses tough. The bow feels wonderful to use, and the arrow even has a nice drop-off. One thing I do recommend, try changing the main control scheme to web slinger. It swaps your bow and hook buttons and allows for a more Spider-Man-esque feel. Fighting a boss is an aerial ballet of dodging shots, landing hooks, and firing off arrows. Thankfully, the game doesn't really press that feeling of death. You pretty much just respawn at the nearest checkpoint with the boss still at the same health you left him. There are also no death screens, so that feeling of failure doesn't ever feel pressing or even existent for that matter. This all sets you up to truly enjoy your experience in a Windlands, and the huge game changer this time around, you can bring your buddies along with you. Co-op allows for 4 headsets to play through races, challenges, or the entire story together. You can customize your avatar, choose a control scheme, and decide whether you'd like the game to be public or private. I was only able to play with my buddy Mike from VR Oasis, but it was one of the easiest and most straightforward experiences I've had with a VR co-op game. We were able to chat without any issues, and just seeing him glide around with me was quite the treat. Switching from one mode to the next worked perfectly, and everything is accessed through your in-game menu, which is without a doubt one of the best menu systems I've ever seen in a VR game. I haven't been able to finish up the main campaign, but I've heard it can last from 6 to 8 hours, and that doesn't even touch finding every collectible. End of the day, I'm calling Windlands 2 fantastic. It's a high-quality sequel that truly improves and innovates on everything the original did right. May not have the deepest characters, but the gameplay is the true entree here. And if you're a fan of the first, you are going to be in heaven.
Take this door, and the next door will open.
Water from the mountain will flow once more.
Thank you for coming through. I hope you enjoyed the review. Big thank you to SciTech for the game. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on everything PlayStation VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on. Smooches.